Hi, and welcome to your favorite podcast of the Temple Shalom League, the video capsule recaps of your Mets. Yes, today I'm not wearing a Mets jersey because I'm wearing the Venezuelan jersey, the jersey of the team that is in the semifinals of the World Baseball Classic. Hopefully, next time that we have an episode, I'm going to be talking about wearing the jersey of the World Baseball Classic champions. We'll see. But we're here because of Shalom. Shalom is underway. We had games on the 80s. You know what that means. We're nearby the spring break, so 30% give or take of the game had been conducted already. So I hope you all are loving your respective teams because that championship material is starting to evolve. I'm just loving the Mets. I'm super happy with the team, but I hope you all enjoying that experience. Speaking about experiences and speaking about percentage, we are here because we're ready to reveal the results of the Lost and Found Director election. So, bear with me. I want to say that first and foremost, 89 people casted your vote. By far the highest participation that we have seen in the league. So, kudos to everyone that submitted a vote. But without further ado, let me just go to reveal those results. In seventh place, with 1% of the votes, Mark Sleeper. Mark Sleeper, congratulations for trying to do your best, but unfortunately, you ran out of short of votes. The second place, I'm reading this as I speak with you, with 6% of the votes, a guy that decided to move to another city just to be involved into this. Marachi. Marachi came in sixth place. So unfortunately, we're not going to have the luxury to have a lost and found commissioner or director remotely. Hopefully, that sets a precedent for me. On fifth place, I'm happy to announce that the fifth person coming into this is Delegate Matt Prod. Matt Prod, with a 7% of the votes, came out on the fifth place. Congratulations, Matt, for doing a good job here. Starting to get interesting, right? Four people left. In fourth place, a guy that is going to be feel disappointed because of this result, because I know that he wanted this role pretty much. With 17% of the votes, Cody Do. Cody Do came in fourth place. I know that you wanted this when you need to keep working harder, Scotty. Eventually, you're going to get it. I trust you. It's getting interesting. Third place. Third place with 19% of the vote. It is the Orioles captain Kendall Anthony. He make a big push, a big run. He came short, but hey, I think you have a lost and found director material in you, Kendall. So continue doing this for 2027. Down to two. And like you'll do in Miss Universe, remember the name that I'm going to mention. If the winner is not able to fulfill his responsibility, you're going to be taking over as the lost and found director. So in second place, with 21.3% of the votes, the former Lost and Found director Ben Nyan came in second place, and I couldn't be more happy because I didn't want him to be focused in two roles at the same time now that he's playing right center field. That means that the former commissioner, Scott Lawrence, with 29.2% of the votes, has become the new Lost and Found director. Congratulations, Scott. I think your leadership is just unmanageable, expandable. So I think you're going to be doing phenomenal in your tenure on the 2026 Lost and Found commissioner term. But I think I saturated you guys with a lot of numbers and a lot of figures. So I think it's actually a good segue to go to my interview this week. A very numerical math guru on this league. A very nice interview that I have with the Hall of Famer John Kilburn. So I'll see you there on the interview that I have with John.
There we go. All right, we're live on week 4 of the interviews. I have the one and only, the Hall of Famer of this league, but not in this league, but in a big or more major league, John Kilburn. Welcome, John.
Good morning. How
All
are
right,
you guys?
doing good. So I always try to start these interviews, talk about what these leagues represent to you. What makes you to wake up in the morning, very early a lot of time. Like today was a good example, and just to play soft with.
Well, there's a
professional
couple
guys.
of things I love about this league. The first thing I love about the league is that I get to play with my son. That for me is the number one deciding factor, right? I didn't get to do a lot of things with him when he was younger because of divorce and all that kind of stuff, family shit. But being able to play softball with him and see him be as excited about the game as I was, that to me is the most important thing. Second most important thing is how much I love most of the guys in this league. There's so many guys in this league that I would never have met otherwise, right? For example, you and I played against each other how many times in Plano, and we barely knew each other. Then we got into the league together, and now here we are having an interview together and enjoying the afternoon.
Yep. No, I totally agree. And I want to say that resonates with me as well. A couple of years ago, when I was having the match with the Stites, I remember me telling Kelly, hey, I envy you so much because I just want to be healthy at that age and have my kids playing with me. I think that's the most phenomenal thing.
That's the most fun in the world, man, especially when your kid does well, right? Because I've done a lot of things. I've been there, done that, but now I get to live watching him get there and see. Sometimes it sucks because you have to watch him struggle, and then you have to watch him grow up. But getting to watch them grow up playing the game is really cool. There's lots of fathers and sons in this league, and that was one of the things that really, really got me excited about playing in this league.
Given about things that keep you excited, I know, because we know each other, but probably people that are watching this channel don't know, is how excited you are with numbers. Running numbers, stats, analysis. I remember Sardi, when he drafted you, the amount of data and analysis that you made, the pre-game to him, that was just phenomenal. I just asking, hey, I want to see the one that he does against me, right? Just to see how good he thinks about me or bad. But tell us a bit of, how passionate you are.
Here's what I do. What I'll do is I'll take all the history I can get out of the league, right? Most of that data you can extract from the stat sheets, right? Pull that data from the stat sheets, and then I'll run that runs generated algorithm, which tells me within, based on history, how many runs per game a team will generate. Then I can take individual player history, walk through their history, use that same formula to see what the odds are of what they're going to hit, how many runs they're going to generate as a team, and then try to figure out, okay, if we can take this guy and maybe get one less hit out of him, and we need to get one less hit out of this guy, and then one of our guys needs to do this, that helps you figure out what your game plan has to look like. The other thing that's important is knowing how to structure your lineup using those numbers, right? A lot of times people will go 1 through 12 based on where they draft people, but sometimes that's not doesn't make the most sense, right? And there's a couple of different schools of thought about how you should have your home run hitters stacked in your lineup. To me, and I learned this from watching major league players play, they don't put their home run hitter in the 4-hole. They put their home run hitter in the 3-hole because they want him coming up to the plate in the first inning. The 4-hole hitter becomes their protection hitter, and the 5-hole hitter is generally a guy that can either be a leadoff or be a power guy to back up your 4-hole hitter. And then on down the line, it just becomes start it over again, have a guy that can run and stuff like that. But every team in this league has a 1 through a 12. So trying to figure out what makes the most sense depends on the individual attributes. And so now you have to know the players in the league, not just their stats. You need to know the players in the league, because there are some guys in this league that absolutely murder the ball when they could be over for the whole day. But you give them bases loaded and they're going to come up big. And those are the guys you have to be aware of, because numbers tell you one story, but intangibles tell you another.
Yeah, no, totally agree. Shifting gears a bit, I always make this question. Sometimes people might feel it uncomfortable, but I have to throw it out there. What is that person that you have not played in the league that you wish you had played?
I haven't played with?
Exactly. That person that you wish to be either drafted, playing with, or what have you.
Well, there's lots of them. I'd love to play with the Strolls. I like every single one of them. They're super nice guys. I got to play with the Burrows. That was kind of cool. There's so many guys here that I could look at and say I'd love to play with them. That's the really nice thing about this league, that there are so many different personalities that a team can be built one way, and maybe it's not a team that I would fit on, but another team could be exactly the same chemistry as what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's really interesting is chemistry, right? There are a lot of teams that play really well that if you looked at their stat line, you wouldn't think they'd be as good as they are, but it's a chemistry thing.
Yep.
And that's what's really interesting about this league because every season you have different guys, right?
Yep.
And so when you have different chemistry, some teams find it early in the season, some teams find it late in the season. But pretty much every team tends to find it, unless you were on the Sounds last
Of
season
course.
and went 0-16. But when they find that chemistry, what happens is the team picks each other's up and gets better. And a lot of that has to do with getting to know the players on the team.
Yep.
And the longer that you are in the league, the more you know everybody and the easier it becomes to slide into a team and fit from a chemistry perspective.
I fully agree. And speaking about chemistry, one thing that people might not know is that John is going to be on potentially the roster of next year Latin American team because there's some heritage on route. He reached out to me when the roster was ready, so we couldn't actually make that happen. Now the fact that I'm not going to be playing the next classic, well, definitely a spot opening. I'll make sure that the high ends up on the hierarchies from that team actually considers you to be
Well,
part of
hey,
it.
my granddaughter's Latino, half
Yep.
Latino.
Yep.
And now my son's married to one, so there you go.
There you go. There you go, Taylor. More talent over there. Uh, any final words that you want to say to? I have more than 50 subscribers, so I know that a lot of people were actually asking to get subscribed. I don't have that issue, right? I have tons of people actually watching the channel. So anything that you want to say, all the subscribers from Salon.
No, just I love what you do. I really like watching your show because one of the things that you do is you go out and you get not just the stars of the league, but you get the guys that are the unsung heroes. Because if you look at a team, everybody usually knows who 1 through 5 or 6 is, but they don't know the guys that are 6 through 12. And the thing that I like about you is you don't stop with the guys at 1 through 6. You go with the guys that are 7 through 12. And those guys, believe it or not, in my opinion, and take it for what it worth, in my opinion, your games are not won and lost on your 1, 2, and 3.
I agree.
They're won and lost on your 9, 10, 11, and 12. And the better your 9, 10, 11, and 12 are, the more chances you have to win.
Yeah, I fully
And that's why those guys deserve more credit than they get.
Yeah, totally, totally. So I don't want to before saying goodbye. I want to say this guy over here is one of the one that actually lifts up those 9 to 12, just bringing his knowledge and expertise. So I told you on the preview of the show that I'm gonna be moving. So I just wanted to have a small item as a gesture because I think you're a phenomenal one. Just keep it on the safe because this is gonna become a collectible worth probably millions of dollars. So make sure that you keep.
You know
keep
what,
that
dude?
one.
It doesn't matter if it's worth millions of dollars. I'd never sell it.
All right. Thank you, John.
Thanks, Leo.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, John. Truly enjoy your conversation, and it's one of those things that you don't want to stop chatting with that person when you have so many topics in common. So, speaking about topics in commons and things you have to be keep an eye on it. I think I said this to you that the Mets were on a undervalue because of their performance. Well, now prices are going up, right? We managed to get our first sweep of the season. We're on 500. So, guys, the value of the Mets, if you want to buy it, has become higher. 500 record, baby. So 30 runs in total we scored in this weekend. Definitely your offense was able to ignite in both of the games. We have a solid win against the Marlins, 10-5. You're interested to see more about what happened. I'm gonna drop here the link of the full game because we're doing some collab from a social media standpoint with Taylor. So thank you, Taylor, for taking that time. You want to see the full game? Definitely, that's the best source. What I can tell you is that it was a solid performance from the Mets. The Mets had an advantage, I want to say, because we knew the pitcher is a two-time Cy Young candidate from the Mets, Michael Thiele, and we have all the scouting report that we needed, and we make sure that we were able to beat the Marlins. I remember we were in a lot of conversations with Thiele for a third year, but he wanted to be in a warmer weather. He wanted to go to Florida, and there was nothing that we can do on the Mets side. Nonetheless, always Hall of Famer in my heart, Michael Thiele. But then we didn't stop there, right? After that 10-5 win, we went to the Northeast Classic, the 1986 World Series between the Mets and the Red Sox. And the Mets, with the wind blowing against a very, very solid offensive squad as the Red Sox are, were able to manage to get another win. This one, 20-11. Everyone was able to hit in this one. We even got up to 4 home runs into that game, and definitely that was something that helped us to go into or 2-0 this week. But I want to say it was a whole full team effort, right? And talking about the baseball or the Mets superstar, we have Gary Granado, 6 for 7, couple of doubles, a couple of home runs, 6 RBIs. But we also have Sean Greeley, who went 4 for 7 with 5 runs, with a walk, with an RBI, and he played third, left field, and right field. So talking about versatility. We also have Tota Hunger, who went perfect 3 for 3 with 3 sacks fly and 6 RBIs and a home run. But we also had Andy Wetterling, who went perfect also 4 for 4 with 3 runs, a double, a walk, and 3 RBIs. And probably the best performance of all, or 11th pick, Pedro Reyes. He went perfect 6 for 6 with 2 runs, with 2 RBIs, and he played first base and catcher. So congratulations to everyone in the Mets, a true team effort victory. And like I said, Mets are in high. So if you're interested to buy, well, make sure that you have some savings on your back. So without further ado, I think it's time to go to the last section of the podcast, The Last Then. See you at Mateos and Bruno's room. The Mets, the Rangers, and the Cowboys, along with the new reform Mateos and Bruno's room. You know where I'm at, the Last Dance section. Today, I'm wearing the Orioles jersey, but not Anthony's Orioles, but JJ's Orioles, the 2018 JJ Orioles, the most talented team that I have ever played in my 11 years in Shalom. A lineup that happened to be or had Justin Reed, JJ, Husey, Nick Barr, John Burke, Matt Schwartz, Arevalo Gonzalez. He's no longer playing with us in here. Myself, and a few others that made such a phenomenal team. I want to say to this day, I never thought it was such a possible to have such a strong team. We lost on the semifinals. It was a double elimination bracket against the Venezuelan Astros from JJ from John Hoff, who came or have a revenge from the previous year with us the Sea Dogs and claim the title ultimately against their Grasshopper, if I'm not mistaken, in a phenomenal series as well. It's one of those that it can go one way or the other. He went to the Astros on that one. Well, such a phenomenal team, the Orioles were not only from an offensive point of view, but the resilience and the versatility that the team had. I want to say that a couple of things come to mind and into that outstanding, phenomenal team that I was. One was that it was the first time that I missed a game in my career. The other one happened in 2023. I have missed just a couple of weekends in my whole career in Shalom. That was the first one because actually I was traveling to Venezuela last time that I was in Venezuela. And the other piece, and this is probably something that you guys on the expos can chase JJ for it. I remember JJ sending us an email saying that if we guys manage to win the championship, which he has won, I believe, just one in spring with a team named Rangers, but I was not on the league at that time. He will have bought us a ring, a championship ring. Of course, we couldn't win it. We came this short to do it. So hey, I don't know if that offer still stand on JJ's end. But hey, guys, if you're in the Expos, just ask for that rain and see if that becomes a motivation for the Expos to actually end up winning it all, right? But I think that's a good anecdote that I still remember from that season. I don't know if probably that email put a lot of pressures on us on that week. I'm not blaming JJ. I'm just saying that I always remember that thing and how much that championship meant for JJ. Like I said, extraordinary team from a talent standpoint, and a very resilient one, and a one that I want to say has been one of the best teams that I have seen in this league. Before I go, one small fact as well there. That was a season in which Miles was born. Miles. So probably you will forget. I'm just gonna put here in the chat the interview that we did last year, but that was the season that I saw you being born, and that was just also phenomenal to see from Matt, from Alicia, which have become very good friends. So 2018 season to remember for sure on the Orioles, and well, I'll see you next week when the Mets will try to continue their 2-0 streak and hopefully get their second sweep of the season. So